Good Tavach Shavua Tov. Good week, everybody. A new week, new energy from a new parsha, from a new Torah portion. We are continuing the story of Abraham. Yes, last week he got circumcised, and now in the middle of that story, Parshas Vayeira, the first Torah reading, chapter 18. Let people in. Thank you. Chapter 18, verse number 1. Okay. Vayeira, and he appeared, Elav, to him, Hashem. Hashem appeared to him, to Avram. Be'eloine Mamre, in the plains of Mamre, the Hu Yeshev, and he is sitting, Pesach ha'ohel, by the entrance of the tent, Kechoy Mayom, at the heat of the day. Rashi. What's going on over here? What's he sitting at the tent, heat of the day? What's all that about? Vayeira Elav, and he appeared to him. Why does God appear to him? Because it's an unusual term. Usually, what does it usually say? Vayemer, he spoke to him, right? And here he appears to him. So Rashi says, he's coming to visit the sick. God is coming to visit the sick. Amar B'chama bar Chanina, B'chama, the son of Chanina, said, this was the third day of his circumcision, and God came to inquire in Abraham's welfare. In the plains of Mamre, why there? This is the one who gave Avram the advice, Halamila, about circumcision. Lafika, that's why Nigla Allah, that's why God revealed to Avram the Chalkain, his portion, meaning in his property. And as Mamre gave him, Avram had doubts how to, about the circumcision. And so he consulted Mamre. And so, therefore, he advised him that he publicize the fulfillment of God's commandment. Like, should he do it privately or publicly? I don't know if it means, and others make a public thing about it or not. So he told me, make a public thing about it. So therefore, God reveals himself, and others reveal God in the public, right? And therefore, that's what Mamre told him to do. And therefore, that's why it's mentioned here. Mamre. Yoshev, it says he's sitting. Yoshav Ksiv. But when you read, it's spelled out Yoshav, meaning he sat. What do you mean he sat? Is he sitting or he sat? Bikesh Lamoid. Avram wanted to stand out of respect for the divine presence of God. Amar Lo Kodesh Baruch Hu, God said to him, Shave, sit, and I will stand. And you will be a signpost for your children, that I will be destined to stand in the assembly of judges, they will sit. As the verse says, as God stands in the divine assembly. In other words, a court of judges, they are to sit when they judge, and God will stand in their place. In other words, to be there with them, to give the proper judgment. He'll be there to help them with the proper judgment.
Is the Sanhedrin?
No, court does. It can be Sanhedrin. It doesn't mean Sanhedrin. We got a court of three. Minimum is a court of three, right? Now, how Rashi gets that over here, I'm not exactly clear, because what's the judgment over here that he's sitting? How does this fit in with what's going on over here? He wasn't sitting as a in court and making a judgment on something. So how would it fit in over here? Like, it seems to be like you parachute something in that doesn't belong there. Like, what's he doing here in a manner of judgment that therefore you would say he's sitting, and God says, this is the way judges are supposed to sit, and I am amongst them to make judgment. How do you fit that in over here? I don't see that. But anyway, we have a lot to learn over here, so we're going to really truck. Okay?
There were three angels, and you're saying if they're judges, it have to be minimum three judges.
Yeah, but he's the one sitting. They're not sitting. They're not. So that doesn't... if they were sitting with him, so that okay, you say it's they're a group of judges, but it's only him, and it's on three. So how does it fit in, and what's the point over here? Why would Torah want to teach that point over here when it's kind of parachuting it in a place that doesn't seem to fit? If you speak of Moshe Rabbeinu and he's sitting there judging the people and whatever, and we have other times that there is that idea. Okay, anyways, Pesach HaOyel at the entrance of the tent, Lirois to see Im Yesh Oiver Shav L'Achnisam B'Beisai. He's there to see if there's any wayfarers to bring him into the house. Remember what we just say. It's the third day, and he's in great pain. So what's he sitting at the entrance of the tent? Why isn't he just sitting in the tent? Why? Because he's looking for people. Because that was he was known for. Was taking care of the people.
Even in pain.
Even in pain, exactly. In the heat of the day, Hashem took out the sun from its sheath and made it shine intensely, so that no one would trouble Avram to be a guest. But God saw that Avram had tired, that he was aggravated, he was in pain. Because he didn't see any visitors coming. That's why he brought the angels with the Musanashim in the form of man. Wow. In other words, when you're pained about something, God brings it to you.
He's more in pain for not having people.
Exactly.
His own grace.
Exactly. His own pain. Exactly.
Not a chesed.
Well, more than a chesed, he's a real godly man.
Yeah.
No, that shows a real godliness, that the pain of not doing good for others is greater than your own personal pain.
Yeah.
Right. That's righteous person.
More or less.
Yeah.
Would this
Also, it looks like he's almost like a minion himself because of the judges. It's just like,
Yeah, but okay. What does that mean? You're not a judge by yourself. You're not allowed to judge yourself. You have to have,
he
right?
has
So
the status of a
whatever. We need a little more meat on that.
Yeah.
Not sufficient. Not for me at least. Not sufficient.
Does this pursuit also teach us to visit the sick?
Of course.
That's
If God's visiting the sick, then for sure we should.
That's where we learn.
Yeah, exactly.
People hold
Now we're going to learn another mitzvah. And he picked up his eyes. Verse number 2. Vayar, and he saw there were three men that were standing upon him. Vayar, he saw. Again, second time seeing, right? Rashi is going to pick up on that. V'yaratz, and he ran likrosam to greet them. He pesach ha'el from the entrance of the oil of the tent. And he bowed towards the ground. Rashi, like the Rashi over here, lots going on. Behold, what I mean hine? What do you mean like behold? All of a sudden, like poof. That's what it means, like poof. All of a sudden they're there, right? Three men. So what's the proof? Because God brought them as angels, that they were like men, right?
In the first two paragraphs, the word Vayeira appears 3 times. But the Yira is a Yat Shamayim.
No. It means
That's
he
from
appeared.
vision.
No, that's a different word. It's a different word.
Is it spelled the same way?
No. One is
Here's Ra'eh. One is Ra'ah, to see, and one is Yira, with it, right? The Yud is part of fear. The Yud is part of the foundation of the word, right? And then to see, there's no Yud in it. Vayeira means he appeared. It's a prefix, not part of the conjugation of the root word. That's the difference, right? Lirot, Ra'eh, right, means to see. Okay, we got a truck over here, folks, because otherwise we won't finish. We won't finish today. And behold, 3 men. Why 3? One to bring tidings to Sarah that she's going to give birth at the same time next year. One is going to overturn stone. One to heal Avram. Why 3? Why not just one? Because one angel cannot perform 2 missions. The Teidam, and you should know, with certainty that one angel can only carry out 1 mission. Why? Because they don't have freedom of will. If you have freedom of will, then you can do more than one thing. You can choose, right? But an angel can't choose. He has no freedom of will, therefore he can only do 1 mission. Shekain b'chol parsha hu maskirin, because in the entire passage it mentions angels, but lashon rabim in the plural. For example, the Yechu and the eight, the Yom Re'elav, and they said to him, but B'sura Nemar, but regarding the tidings of Sarah, it says Vayomer, he said, not plural, right? The Shoyba Shuva Ilecha, and when it's that I will return to you. In other words, that you're going to have a son. Oh, the Hafichas Stein by likewise when it says regarding the overturning of Stein, Hasadam, for I cannot do a thing, levilti ahavchi, but to overturn. Of Raphael, and Raphael, Sheripa is Avram that came to heal Avram. It was the angel Raphael. Halach Misham, and he went from there Lahatzil Esoy to save Lloyd. Hu Shenemar, and that's what it says in the verse. But he can say and they took them out. They took them out. But Yemrim, he mullet his nafshecha. He said, "Flee for your life." Right when he went to Lloyd and Stein to save Lloyd. Lamad, from here we learn she'echad hayamatzav, because one went to save Lloyd, not all three of them, just one. That was a very lengthy. Raphael went to save, yeah.
And to heal.
Well, first to heal and then to save, exactly. Nitzavim, all love, standing before him. All love, what do you mean all love? Lafanav is in front of him. All of Mata Menashe. The next one was the tribe of Menashe, of Alash and Nikiyahu, but it's a respectful language, Kalapi Malachim, towards angels. In other words, to stand on somebody is not very respectful language, but for the angels, it's respectful. To use that kind of term. Okay. Vayar, he saw. Ma'u v'yar v'yar shnei pamim. What does it mean? He saw 2 times, right? The verse says 2 times. Harisha, and what was the first one was kimashmoy, as it sounds. In other words, he understood, right? He was seeing something with his eyes. He understood. Sorry. No, the first one, I'm sorry, the opposite. The first one is he saw physically. Right, the second one, it means he understood. He saw, and then he understood. Right, that's what it means. He observed they were standing in one spot, and he understood. And they didn't want which to trouble him. When you want to trouble somebody, you move forward towards them. They didn't move forward towards him. They stood in their ground because they didn't want to bother him. Right, that's what happened. Even though they were aware that Avram would anyways go towards to greet them, they stood in their place out of respect for him, to show him that they did not wish to trouble him. They called them who, and he went ahead nonetheless to run after them. The Baba Mitzia, it states in Baba Mitzia, Ksiv, and it's something all of it standing on him, Uksiv, and it says, V'yaratz Ikroisam. Huh?
Run towards them, not after them.
Running, standing before him. No, Nitzav, meaning standing before him. V'yaratz Ikrosam, and he ran towards them, right? Kad Chaziu, when they saw him, the Havi Sori V'aser, that he was untying and tying his bandages for his bris. They moved away from him. Miyad, immediately, he ran towards him. So the Talmud is adding a little to it that I don't know why Rashi is bringing it down, how he's bringing that into the simple meaning, but so it is. Okay, verse number 3. Yeah, we're good so far? Okay, amazing. Okay, verse number 3. And he said, Adnai, says, my lords, if please, matzasi, I have found favor in your eyes, please do not, savor, to pass, may Allah pass over your servant. Now, he's saying, I'm your servant. Page? What page, guys?
Page 106.
So he's saying, please don't pass by, and others don't walk away from me. I want to be here for you. Rashi in number 3, and he said, my lords, if it please you, you see, he's saying it to what he's saying it to an individual. He's not saying it to all of them. Be'inecha, in your eyes, not be'inechem, not in your plural eyes, meaning all of you. So Rashi says, because he spoke to the principal of them, but yet he called all of them my lords. The Gadol to the principal one, the main guy, in other words, al nasavor, do not pass. Because if he won't pass, his companions will stay with him also. And according to this interpretation, who hold the word Adnai is not sacred, right? It doesn't refer to God. You hear what I just said? Right? It doesn't refer to God, the word Adnai over here. Yeah? Now, Davar Acher, alternative explanation, Koideshu. It is a holy, it refers to God. It refers to God. He was saying to God, Lahamtin loy. He was saying to God, wait for me. Until I run, and go usher in the visitors. Even though after our verse is written after, it says he ran after them. Ha'amira, to the statement that he said to God, the statement was said earlier to God. And that's why he doesn't say this is the first explanation. He's saying this to God. God, wait, because I have visitors here. I have to greet the guests, right? I have to greet the guests. And the verses can speak this way. In other words, that they will not be in a chronological sequence. As I have explained, that my spirit shall not be content concerning man. If it says Noach was begot, but it's impossible to say so that my spirit will not intend, did not intend actually following the birth of Noach's children, because the decree referred to my spirit shall not be content earlier than Noach's oldest son that he gave birth to, Esrim Shana, for by 20 years. Okay. So the second explanation is he's saying to God, right? From here, by the way, our sages say, we see that receiving guests, you hear folks, receiving guests is greater than receiving God. Because he received God was there with him. God came to visit him and to bring healing to him, right? To visit him, to visit the sick, appeared to him. But what's greater than that? That you are there for another, right? That you are there for another. That's why he left him. Otherwise, why would he leave God and say, wait for me and God take care of the guests? Because the guests are more important than even God's presence. Which tells you a lot about what Yiddishkeit is. Okay, number 4. Number 4. Yukach. Let some ma'at mayim, let some water be brought, and you should wash your feet, and you should recline under the tree. Rashi, number 4, Yukachna, let some water be brought, please. Al Yidishli, meaning through a messenger. Kodesh Baruch Hu, Shilam Lebanav, and Hashem repaid his children. Al Yedei Shaliyah, by means of a messenger. Shenema, as it says, V'yar Moshe is Yada, V'yachas Hasela, and then Moshe raised his hand and struck the rock. Ooh.
That's where they merited.
In other words, water was done through a messenger. So when the Jews were in the desert, they also got through a messenger water. Moshe was the messenger. Now, when he hit the rock the first time, not the first time was, he hit the rock the first time was appropriate. And water came, right? Moshe was a messenger. As opposed to bread, we'll see Avram is going to bring the bread himself, not through a messenger. And God also gave bread himself, not through a messenger. How? Manna from heaven, right? Why Rashi says this over here to I guess is otherwise. What's the point? Wash your feet. His impression was that they were wilderness dwellers. That they worshipped the dust on their feet. And he took care not to bring idolatry into his house. Right? But Lloyd did not care about avoiding idolatry to bring in his house. He invited the angels. We'll see later on to spend the night without first washing their feet. The dirt on a Jew is we bring into the sukkah, but the dirt of someone who's not Jewish, it might be a pagan idolater, you don't bring into your house. Spend the night and then wash your feet. It's beneath the tree. What is it? And it literally means, ilan, under the tree. Eitz means wood, but it means tree. Right? Ilan is tree. Okay, number 5. And I will fetch a morsel of bread, and you will nourish your hearts. And afterwards you can pass and continue your journey. Because this is the reason of Artem that you have passed this Avdechem, your servant. And they said, yes, we will do as you have said. Rashi in number 5. That you may nourish your heart, meaning with Torah, prophets, and writings of the Torah, Matina, we find that the bread of nourishment of the heart, that you get satisfied is through Torah. The Sadu Libchem, that you may nourish your heart, the Nevi'im with the prophets, Sadu Libchem is Alechem, nourish your heart, the morsel of bread, Biksuvim with the writings. Alechem, Levava, and the Shisar, as King David says, the bread nourishes the heart of man. And what does that mean? Learning Torah. Because what does Torah do? What do you do with Torah? You ingest it. It becomes internalized because you understand the teachings. When you understand the teachings, they become ingested in you like food becomes, and it becomes a part of you. So this is what it means. Now, why it doesn't mean the simple meaning that, I'm not clear. Amar Rav Chama said, Levavchem ein sivkan, doesn't say your hearts here in plural, but only libchem. That tells Magid that the evil inclination does not have an effect, but malachim upon angels, Reshis Rabbah, right? Because they're angels, right? They don't have 2 hearts; they have just 1 heart. We have 2 parts of the heart: one where the divine soul is, and one where the animal soul is, right? I mean, figuratively speaking. And so we have 2. They only have 1 because they don't have an animal soul. Therefore, it says libchem.
How long do you think this visit has taken? Like over what period of time?
I know, but we're focused now. I'm sorry, I just have to. I can't. I don't know. The answer is I don't know. But we have a lot to learn here, so I want to really focus. After which you shall pass. Afterwards, telechu, you shall go. Right, that's what it means. In inasmuch, literally means for it is because you have passed. For this thing, I request of you. Because you have passed over me, meaning passed my way, out of my respect, right? Out of respect for me, that you have been here, then after you've been here, yes, continue. Which means share, in as much as anytime it says these words, it means we see in as much as it means it's just he just gave an examples over here. It means in as much, right? In as much as this is why you came. Okay. Number 6. Okay. The Yimahir, and he hurried, hastened, Avraham. to the tent. El Sara, right? First he got water for their feet. Then he went and got bread. Now it says he went to the tent, El Sara, to Sarah, Vayeira, and he said to her, Mahari, quickly. Shalish Sim Kemach Selis, 3 sieves of unsifted flour. Selis Lushi V'Asiyaguas, and then sifted flour, knead, and make cakes. Lushi means to knead. V'asi ugos, and make cakes. Uga is cake. Rashi number 6, kemach seles, unsifted flour, and sifted flour, seles ugos, the sifted flour is for cakes. The kemach la'amilam, shel tabachim, and the unsifted flour for dough of cooks. Lachas is the kedera, which they use to cover the pot. Lishev is azuma, so they absorb the bad, all the bad stuff. So in other words, the fine flour was what she was cooking with. The unsifted, the unfine flour was to protect the pot in the cooking. Interesting. Okay. Number 7. Ve'ela bakar, and to the cattle, Ratz, he ran. Avraham ran. The Yikach, and he took. Ben Bakar, he took Ben Bakar Rach. Rach means tender. He took a tender calf, Vitoiv, and that's good. The Yitain, and he gave it, Elanar, to the lad, the Yimaher, and he hurried, to prepare it. Rashi, and number 8. Number 7. Ben Bakar Rach Vitoiv. A calf that's tender and good. Shloisha parim hayu. It was actually 3 bulls he took. Kedei la'achilam, in order to feed each guest, sholosh l'shenis b'chardel, 3 tongues with in mustard as a delicacy. The el anar. So 1 second. How do we get that from here?
How did they make mustard?
From chardel.
They have eggs.
Mustard is a seed. Mustard seed. From mustard seed they made it. It's from a seed, mustard seed, right?
They ate the tongue.
Mustard seed.
Huh?
They ate the tongue.
Oh, tongue's kosher.
It's very good.
Yeah.
If you're,
I never tried that.
It's delicious meat.
food.
No, but what's interesting is
My father-in-law used to make it all the time.
Sure, my wife wants that.
tender.
I bet I liked it, but
You gonna try that? Son?
So you wanted each to have complete tongue, like he didn't have one calf
of
share. He had 3, 1 for each. Each can have a full tongue.
Wow.
So what's the meaning? Why the full tongue?
No, that's not the question here. We're learning a Chumash and Rashi, and I want to remind everybody. And learning a Chumash and Rashi, there's only one focus over here and nothing else. How does Rashi know what he just said? That's the question here. How do you get this from the verse? So you get it. The only way, the reason is because it says Ben Bakar, Rach the Toiv. So Rashi's taking because it says 3 things. It's not really 3 things. Ben Bakar is the fact that it's a calf, right? Then that it's tender and it's good. That's a description of what it is. How do you get 3 from there? That therefore you know that it was 3. No, how does Rashi know? Not how does
It's a tongue. Ugh, soft. What's the softest part in the?
Yeah, but no. What? 1 second. If so that's from the 1, and they split it. So they split it.
Right, sure.
They shared it. Where do you get 3 over here? How does Rashi see 3 here?
It's not enough to split. It's a very small thing.
No, but
Yeah.
there's other food.
He wants them to have a.
So
full
the
meal.
only thing you could say is because he is going overboard for his guests, right? So therefore, sometimes you need a rationale, like Chaim, like you just said. Rashi is using a rationale. We have to look at the Rebbe Sichas, but it could be because since he's going overboard, he's not splitting up a tongue with them. That wouldn't be a fitting for his guests. He wouldn't do that. So that's why he gave all 3. That's a possibility, but still, where do you get the 3 exactly? Maybe that's all part of the rationale. Anyway, yeah. Elanar to the youth, Yishmael, that was Yishmael. Lechancha b'mitzvahs. Why? To teach him, to train him to fulfill mitzvahs. Looks like it didn't work so well. Yishmael, his children are not doing mitzvahs these days.
The Shmuel served him with obedience. So you're right.
I know. I said it, but it didn't work in the future.
See, that's
Yes. All right, number eight. Okay. Okay, number 8. Vika chema, and he took butter, the chalav and milk, ben bakar, and he took a calf, asher also that he made, v'itin lifneim, and he gave before them. V'hu oimed aleihem, and he is standing over them, tachas ha'etz, under the tree, vayachelu, and they ate. Rashi. Number 8, v'yika chema, and he took cream. Lechem loyevi. He didn't bring the bread, although he had asked her to bake bread. Right? It doesn't say he brought bread. The fish appears the sort of Nida because she began menstruating. The Chazar law kenoshim because she became younger. You remember she was 90 years old, and how am I going to give birth? All of a sudden, right? She became young again, and she menstruated, which she hadn't done. On that day. Because she menstruated, she made the dough impure with contact with it, and therefore cannot be served. Chema, cream, shum, and achalab, the fat of the milk, shekolti me'alpanav, that is on the top of the milk. Ben bakar asher asa, and the calf that he made, which he made, is used in the sense over here, ashetikin, that he prepared. Kema shetikin, he prepared each food. Amti ayasi Kamaihu, and he brought it near and presented it before them. Vayechlu, and they ate. Nira kamashachlu. Vayechelu, and they ate. Nira kamasha. It appeared as if they ate. Mikan. From here we learn shalom yishana adam in a minhag. A person should not deviate from the custom of the place where he finds himself. They ate. They're angels. Angels don't eat. So why they eat? Because the custom of the place is when someone gives you food, you eat. So they had to do the same thing. That it's to teach us that lesson. Right?
And it's okay that they ate.
So in other words, if you go to a Sephardic family and they give you on Shabbos tafina, so you did tafina. You go to Ashkenaz, you give you cholent, eat the cholent, l'chaim, l'chaim.
They said that they ate rishon v'zarku, that they pretended to eat.
Pinira, as if, yeah. Okay.
I remember a Sephardi guy that was given gefilte fish. So he was looking for the cat, and he was giving it to the cat, so they would think that he ate.
But the dairy and milk is okay.
Oh, yeah. Huh?
The dairy first is okay.
not a lot of food. For
Yes. Yeah, there's a good question, but not for now. Good question, excellent question. Vayeimru, and they said, Elav to him, Aye, where Sarah Yishtech, where's Sarah, your wife? Vayoimer, and he said, Hine ba'ayal, that she's in the tent. Okay, heavy duty stuff here. Pay attention. He said to them, do you see the word Elav? It's got dots on top of it, over the Aleph, the Yud, and the Vav. Right? It's got, in the Torah, it has dots actually. Actually has dots in the written Torah. Right? It's those dots. What does it mean? Betanya, so it was taught in the Braisa, Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar said, Kol Malkum, any place shall call that the undotted letters of the word Rabba al Nekuda are more than the dotted letters. You expound the undotted letters because they're more. They can, but over here, the Nekuda, the dotted letters Rabba al Aksam, they outnumber the undotted letters. So therefore, you expound the dotted letters. Right? So over here, what does it mean? Also, the angels they ask, Ayoy. Right? What's left with the dotted letters means Ayoy. Where is he? Avram, where's Avram? So this teaches the person should inquire regarding his host, to the man about the woman, and to the woman about the man. In other words, when you're being hosted by someone, right? So you should ask, if the woman's not there, where's your wife? And if the man's not there, where's your husband? That's what it's to teach us. Okay? But our sages give a different explanation. The angels knew where our mother Sarah was. Ella, right? So they give a different explanation, not the first one. The idea she so this is to tell that she was modest in order to endear her to her husband. The third explanation now is and he said koyishel bracha, in order to send her a cup of blessing. In other words, it's to teach us that you should give the cup of blessing to bring to her. And the Rebbe has an amazing sikh on this, but not now. That she was modest. Number 10.
But there was no mention of wine here so far.
Huh?
Was there mentioning of the wine?
That's a good question. Where's wine come in? Yeah, there's seemingly no. Yeah, there's no wine mentioned. Where's that kind of?
Blessing is important.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Good question. Number 10. Vayeira. Okay, let's go, folks. I'm sorry because I want to finish up over here, and then we can go back on things if we have time. Okay.
From Noah.
Old wine, 10 generations. And he said, now he said, Shoiv, return, Ashuv, I will return, Elecha, to you. Ka'es, like this time, Chaya, and there will be life. Vihine, and behold, Leben, Sarah, there will be a son to Sarah, Ishtecha, your wife. Sarah Shemas, and Sarah heard what the angel just said, right? Pesach ha'ayel, by the entrance of the tent, Vehu acharab, and it is behind him. Rashi, number 10, lengthy. Let's follow. Lots over here. Ke'es chaya. Like this time, next year there will be life. Ke'es so it's like this time, L'shana haba, next year, Pesach chaya. It was Pesach time. LePesach haba, and the following Pesach, Neilad Yitzchak, Yitzchak will be born. Midlan Karinen, Ke'ez, since we do not read Ke'ez, Ella Ko'ez, but rather like the time. In other words, it's the time, not a time. Not at a time, but the time, right? Specific time.
So the Lushi was matzot? When he tells her Lushi Vasi,
Oh, good, seeming, I guess. Torah.
Matzah.
Yeah, she's making matzah.
Wow.
How do we see that it's Pesach, though? No, that it's a specific time. It's the time, not a time. So that means it's a special time. But why Pesach, not Rosh Hashanah? Right? Why not whatever? But by the way, Rosh Hashanah we read. Why do we read it on Rosh Hashanah? We read this on Rosh Hashanah. Why? Because that's when he was conceived.
That's when what?
Conceived. Ke'ez chaya, shetia chaya lachem, they will be living for you, shetia kulchem, shleimim kayamim, they will be sound and alive. In other words, you're going to be living. Wow. No, different explanation. You'll be living. You'll be alive next year. Sheva Shu, next Rashi. Return, I will return. The angel did not inform him that he will personally return to him. But rather, he said to Abraham as an agent of Hashem. As like it says, the angel of God said to her, I will greatly increase your offspring. This is in reference later, which we had earlier. But the angel doesn't have the ability to increase her offspring. But he's doing it as an agent of God. Afkan here too, he does it as an agent of God. I'm returned. What do you mean? What does that mean over here? The angel is doing this. I'm going to give you a son. I'm going to give you a child. I'm not giving you a child. So Rashi's explaining, I'm going to return as an agent of God to that you'll have a child from God. Elisha Amar Shunamis. Elisha said to the woman of Shunamis, at the appointed time, Ka'is Chayam, next time this year there will be life. At Chayvekes Ben, you will be hugging a son. And she said, Eladoni, but my master, Isha Lakim, man of God. Do not fail your maidservant. The woman continued and said, those angels should be Sarah that informed the angel to give birth. Amru, they said, Lamayed Ashu, at an appointed time I will return. but you did not say, I will return. Amar lo, Elisha said to him, Oisam malachim, those angels, heim chayim kayim elohim, le'elam, they last forever. Amar, they said, L'mayidashuv, I will, the appointed time, I will return. Aval ani, basar v'dam, but I'm a man of flesh and blood. Shayim chay, today I'm alive, but machar mates, but tomorrow I could be dead. Bein chay or bein mates, whether I'm alive or dead, l'mayidazet, at this appointed time, you will be hugging a son. Just showing the difference over here between an angel speaking and a righteous person speaking, right? So an angel is going to say, I'm going to return at this point in time. But Elisha couldn't say that because I don't know if I'm going to be alive tomorrow, right? So he just said that you will be hugging his son, right? Whether I come or don't come.
I
Right.
thought the angels only survive for a short period of time.
But they only have one mission. They have only one mission. That's what Rashi said.
They came to
Each one had a different mission. That's what we learned that already.
They came to see Abraham, and their mission was accomplished.
No. Yeah, wait. If you followed Rashi, then we learned that each one had a separate mission. One was to destroy stone. Let me finish. One was to destroy stone. One was to bring him healing, and one was to give the tidings. 3 different missions, so they're doing their mission. When they finish their mission, they're leaving.
But coming back, it won't be the same angels coming back a year later.
Why not? Why not? Pesach at the entrance behind the angel. Why not? Why not? Why can't it be? Okay, number why can't it be?
I thought they only are there for their one mission. They did the
Yeah, but
mission. They advised
so why can't they come back to do another mission? Why can't they come back to do another mission?
It'd be another angel.
No, okay, but it's the same angel because it's the same mission. Number 11, the Avram and Sarah, and Avram and Sarah Zikanim, they were elderly. Boim bayamim, coming into their days. Chadal liyais, she had ceased to be Sarah or Kenashim. They're having the cycle of women. Chadal liyais, pasuk mimena, that ceased from her or Kenashim. Nidais, the menstrual cycle. But I thought it just came back. So why is it saying this verse here? It should have said the verse earlier. The Titzak Sarah, she should have known. She noticed that she all of a sudden menstruated. How does she notice? How does she notice she menstruated? Because she menstruated, she made the dough, or she made the cookies, the matzah. She made it impure. So she knows it was impure because she menstruated. So why is this? How does this verse fit in over here? I don't understand. I don't know. I'm asking a question. I don't have an answer. Anyway, 12. Yitzhak Sarah. I'll explain later. Let's continue. The Yitzhak Sarah, and she laughed Sarah, Bikirba, inside of her. In other words, to herself, Lamer, saying, Acharei balaisi, after I've withered away, Haisali, and it will be to me Edna still. My skin will be smooth. Vadaini Zokin, and my husband is also old. How are we going to have a kid? Kirby, inside of Mistake Elizabeth, she looked at her stomach va'amra, and she said, "Is it possible that these innards of meat, so unim vlad, will bear an offspring? The shadayim halalu, and these breasts that have contracted moishkim cholav, that will draw milk." That's what the Tanchuma says. Idena, clear Edna, clear skin. Tzachzach basar, the luster, the shine of the flesh. Beloshin Mishnah, there's a language from the Mishnah. Ma'adan. Mashir is haseyar, makes the hair fall out. Ma'achas basar, makes the flesh clear. Davar achar, alternative explanation, the Edna means, Lashon Eden means Idan, a period. Zman ves nidois means the menstrual period cycle. Interesting. Okay, we're going to finish, so let's do that. Vayeira Hashem, and Hashem said El Avram to Avram, Lama, why? Zet tzachaka, that she laughs, Sarah. Lamer saying, Ava umnam, is it at all possible, Ele, that I will give birth? Vani zakanti, and I'm old. Af umnam, Hagam, Emes, Ele, is it really true that I'll give birth? Vani zakanti. Shina kosu mipnei hasholom. God changed things, right? The verse changed things, right? Sharehi amra adeni zakin. She said about who? Her husband was old. What did Hashem say to her? To him? That she's old, right? Don't speak lashon hara. Right? Number 14, last verse. Hayipola me Hashem, is it beyond God? Davar, this thing, lamoyed ashu, to. It's interesting what's going on over here. You got the angels over there, they're messengers, and now God's speaking to Avram, right? Get the whole picture that's going on over here. It's really something. So, is it something beyond Hashem? This thing, Lamoyed, to this appointed time, Ashuv, I will return Elecha to you, Ka'es Chaya, and at this time there will be life. Well, Sarah ben, and Sarah will have a son. Rashi in 14 Ipala. Is there anything beyond this? Should be understood. Targuma comes to Unkalis. Hayis Kase. Is it covered over? Shum daber, is anything mufla that's separated and is covered over me many from God, that I cannot fulfill my will. At this appointed time, that appointed time, that's singled out, that I fixed for you yesterday. Interesting, this is the following day now. How we got the following day, I'm not exactly clear. How does Rashi get the following? Why not the same day? Right? Okay.
I think the angels were there for quite a few days.
It's not about what we think, it's about what Rashi is teaching us. Okay? That's really important that we really stick to the script. Kavati lachai esmol, I fixed for you yesterday l'moyed hazeh, to this appointed time, the shana acheres, the next year. Okay, wow. Folks, we did it. Amazing. Fascinating, phenomenal.
So tell me,